In the past 50 years, Sichuan, where the elephants are originally from, experienced the most severe droughts in the past 50 years.
These captivating, record-breaking elephants are now on the home stretch. They left southern China's Sichuan National Nature Reserve in March last year. They then slowly made their way north across Yunnan province, skirting Kunming, the home of October's COP15 Biodiversity Conference, before heading south again. Recently, they have been helped across a major obstacle, the Yuanjiang River.
So Becky, it's been a while since we've talked, and the elephants are almost home.
So it was still about 170 kilometers away from their very original home, the nature reserve. Yeah, but actually they already reaching to the place with a similar vegetation type and similar climates, so which is good. And we are hoping that they can finally reach home.
Becky Shu Chen is a member of the International Union for the Conservation of Nature Asia Elephant Specialist Group. Like the elephants, she is from Yunnan province. I first spoke to her a month ago, just as the elephants had begun their trek south.
It looks like a path is going to be cleared for them to get them back home.
Yes, so there's a team of the trackers. They fly the drones every day on a 7/24 basis. And at the same time, they were, for example, shut down the power supplies, for example, to prevent the elephants get electric shock or catch any fires.
It's been an incredible effort. 25,000 police, 1,500 emergency vehicles, 150,000 people evacuated to make way for the elephants, and up to 771,000 in insurance fund paid. The government has made an incredible effort.
Yes, I think it has never happened in human history I have ever heard about. For example, the similar tracks also happened in the past. So not such long distance, about 1,300 kilometers for the return, but some kind of long tracks happened, for example, in India, 1980s. So the herd of elephants are tracked to the central India, another herd tracks to India, to the west India, both associated with the droughts. But they may not return and they don't know where to head to.
It's the year of the Biodiversity Conference, COP15. The elephants, as we talked about last time, actually made it to Kunming, which was kind of spooky that they've paid a visit to the city where the Biodiversity Conference is going to be held. Would the government have been so tolerant of these elephants if it was any other year?
So since 1989, the China launched the wildlife protection law. So elephants are always the priority. And second, I think, because although we have a growing population of Asian elephants, but China still only has 300 of them. It's like less than 1% of the total populations across 13 range countries. So in total, the Asian elephants right now, the population size is about 45 to 49,000. So I think China want to increase the elephants and trying to bring them back to that historical range.
And this is in keeping with the goal of COP15 to become an environmental civilization.
Yeah, it is. And I want to highlight as well, so the human-wildlife conflicts has been put into the COP15 as one of the targets. So we have to be aware as well with the growing number of elephants. It means this kind of tracking will happen more. So how to mitigate the negative impacts of those kind of large, conflict-prone and potentially dangerous animal? The impacts on the especially local communities could be a task that the whole society should look into solutions.
Last time you were keen to make it clear this is a dispersal, not a migration. But now that they are almost home, can we call it a migration now?
It's not migration, because migration is like a seasonal and movement, and they have regular movement. But so basically, we did some data analysis, and through the pattern, we are sure that it's not migration, dispersal. And this kind of dispersal, especially the short distance, like less than 100 kilometers in length, this kind of dispersal happens a lot.
Okay, so it's not uncommon for them to move short distances, but these guys, by the time they get home, will have done 1,000 kilometers.
Yes, 1,300 kilometers is quite...
Oh, 1,300.
Yeah, exceptional. And actually, they are not home yet. It's still 200 kilometers away. So we don't really know. So maybe they will go a little bit to another direction.
Something I'm not clear about when they were out on the outskirts of Kunming, was that, as you said, it's up to the elephants. Was that them deciding that, or were they shepherded back in the southerly direction?
I think it's a kind of combination of elephant choice and also the human direction provided to them. So for elephants, they are a very intelligent animal, so they will choose somewhere that's good for them. So I think the return to the south is just what their behavior. So I think they were just trying to choose somewhere to stay. Even the new place, new territory, they must be suitable for them. So this is one of, I think, the choice made by themselves. And second, because Chinese government had invested a lot of resources to block the way, they don't want elephants to go further or go wrong. And at the same time, to using 180 tons, it could be more, of the food, like bananas, maize, pineapples, to do some supplementary feeding and same time using the food to base them to go to that directions they want them to go. So I think this kind of efforts and decisions made by elephants and also human beings.
So we started off with 16 elephants. 2 of them went home. A baby was born. More recently, an elephant was darted, tranquilized, and taken home. These guys, these 14 who remained, they've got the world record for dispersal in China now, don't they?
In the world, not even in China. I think the longest ever in the history we ever recorded.
What do you think about the future? What's going to happen if this happens again?
I think this could be a very challenging problem in the future, and not only China will face, but other countries may face as well. So the big elephant movement, as I mentioned in India, were associated with big droughts. So interestingly, and when we did some analysis, and we had some very interesting findings, just like what happened to India back to 1980s. So they were hit by a big drought. So in the past 50 years, Sichuan, where the elephants are originally from, experienced the most severe droughts in the past 50 years. So 2019 to 2020, the mean temperature of Sichuan is about 1.6 degrees higher than the mean temperature between the 1990s to 2010. So some researchers published that. I think it's very interesting. And then also, due to the climate change associated droughts, it means the elephant has limited food in the forest. So it's the reason why they roam out, trying to find more food. So not only, so what concerned me is not only that we have more elephants, it means they will need to go out to find new territory, to establish new populations. But if this kind of climate change is happening, if we have more extreme weather, for example, droughts, this may happen again.
Yeah, climate change. We're now in the last chance saloon, as they say, with regard to climate change.
They're all interconnected. Like human also is connected with elephant and its nature. If we have the breaking down nature, this kind of extreme events will have negative impact on elephants for sure. And I think in the end, it will impact human beings badly as well.
Are you confident that the range that the elephants now exist in, the reserve they exist in, could be expanded?
Yeah, I think it should be the solution we're looking to. Elephants, they are herbivores. It means they don't like the dense forests. They like to find open areas to eat grass. But since 1958, Sichuan, the elephant home, they established the nature reserves. And they control the fires very well. So whether we can return those land back to forest, back to elephants, this must be included already into the Asian Elephant National Park planning.
And that planning is underway.
Yeah, this plan is on the way. So I think the tracking elephants again or speed up this process. And not only for China, but for the globe, that we should really take into consideration about long-term conservation solution.
And as the first group of elephants heads home to Xishuangbanna National Nature Reserve, another group of 17 elephants has left it.
You know, the more you look after the elephants, the more their population is going to increase, the more this problem is going to recur. It's a difficult conundrum.
So elephants just epitomize those large animals that could come into conflicts with human beings. For example, tigers. So we have cases that armored tiger also getting close to human villages in the northeast China. And for example, wolves. When the United States, right, they want to recover the gray wolves in Yellowstone. So now they have troubles with the ranchers. So I think this is a challenge for all of us to think about. We want the animals back, but also how we can ensure you have the happy communities. It's not possible. So right now, we even change the term. We don't call human elephant or human wildlife conflicts. We talk about human wildlife coexistence.
It's all finished. Oh, don't worry. We've got loads more cool science and tech stories from Razor. All you need to do is like, comment and subscribe and hit the bell button below for notifications. See you next time.